Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to talk about something that's a big deal for so many caregivers: going out to eat with a person you love who has dementia. It's one of those things that sounds so simple, right? Just grabbing a bite. But in reality, it can feel really, really complicated. So, in this explainer, we're going to walk through 6 fantastic, really practical tips from DailyCaring.com that can help make that whole experience way more joyful for everyone. All right, let's jump right in.
This quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? That's the reality of it right there. On one hand, you have this wonderful, beautiful opportunity to connect and share a meal. But on the other hand, there's this very real chance for things to get stressful or even overwhelming. It's a constant balancing act, and I just want to say it is totally okay and normal to feel both of those things at once.
So that's the big question, isn't it? How do we get more of the joy and less of the challenge? Look, the goal here isn't to stop going out or to avoid these special moments. Not at all. It's all about getting prepared. And the best part, a little bit of planning, I'm talking just a few key strategies, can completely change the game and really tip those scales toward a happy, positive experience. All right, let's get into our very first tip. It's all about choosing the right venue. And honestly, this one might be the most important of all. It's all about setting yourself up for success before you've even walked out the door. Because where you go, it matters a lot. See, for someone living with dementia, their senses can be, well, on high alert. The environment is absolutely everything. So your mission, if you choose to accept it, kind of changes. You're not just hunting for the best burger in town anymore. You're looking for a sanctuary, a place that feels comfortable, safe, and just easy. Because when they feel safe, that's when they can actually relax and enjoy being there with you. And that's the whole point, right? So, what does this perfect place look like? Well, think about this. Is it a familiar spot? Maybe a diner they've loved for years? That familiarity is like gold. How's the noise level? Is it quiet? Or is there loud music and clattering dishes? Do they serve simple food you know they'll like? And don't forget the practical stuff, like an easy-to-find restroom. Seriously, that can be a huge source of stress. Every one of these things helps peel away a layer of potential anxiety.
Okay, so you've found the perfect restaurant. Awesome. But that's only half the battle. Now we're at tip number 2. When you go is just as critical as where you go.
Timing is everything. We all have our on and off times of day, right? But for a person with dementia, that difference between their best and worst time can be absolutely massive. Figuring out their best time of day and planning around it, honestly, it's a total game changer. So what is this best time? Well, more often than not, it's going to be earlier in the day. Folks with cognitive changes are usually sharper, less tired, and just more relaxed in the morning or early afternoon. If you can sync your outing with their natural energy rhythm, you're basically stacking the deck for a win. So what does that look like in practice? Think about an early lunch, say around 11 a.m. You've totally beat the noon rush, the kitchen isn't slammed so your food comes out faster, and the whole place is just calmer. Or you could try the other side of the rush, like a late lunch around 2. An early bird dinner also works great. The goal is just to find that sweet spot when the crowds are low and their energy is high. All right, moving on. We're going to bundle tips 3 and 4 together because they're both about being prepared and proactive. This is all about what you do before you go and what you do when you get there. First up, pack for success. Think of it like a go bag, a little comfort kit. If they have a favorite cup or special utensils that are easier for them to use, bring them. An extra sweater in case the restaurant's AC is blasting, some moist wipes, all the little things that make life easier. It's all about bringing a little piece of home with you to make the new place feel less strange. Okay, and then once you're there, you got to be their advocate. Don't be shy about it. When you walk in, ask the host for a quiet table in a corner, away from the chaos. When the menu comes, instead of just handing it over and letting them get overwhelmed, point out 2 things you know they like. Hey, how about the chicken or the fish today? Simple. You can even give the server a quiet heads up that you'd appreciate quick service. It's all about smoothing the way. Okay, tip number 5 is, it's such a brilliant little hack. It solves that awkward, anxious moment of trying to explain what's going on to a complete stranger. The whole idea here is to communicate what's happening without having to have a big, public, and potentially embarrassing conversation about it. It quietly invites patience and understanding from the people around you. So check this out. It's just a simple, discreet card. You quietly hand it to your server as you're getting seated. It says something just like this: "My companion has dementia. Thank you for your patience." That's it. It is so simple, but in that 1 second, you've turned a potentially confused server into an ally who gets it. It's an absolutely fantastic tool. And that brings us to our final tip, number 6. This one is all about knowing when to wrap things up. It's about quitting while you're ahead and ending the whole thing on a high note. Because here's the thing, a short, happy meal out is a million times better than a long one that ends in stress and agitation. Fatigue is a huge trigger for people with dementia. They can get overtired so easily. You have to remember, this isn't about having a 3-hour, 5-course meal. It's not an endurance sport. The whole purpose, the goal, is connection. A little bit of happy, positive connection. That's the real win. So, what are some practical ways to keep it brief? Easy. Maybe you skip the appetizers and just get right to the main event. You could always get dessert to go. That's the best of both worlds. But the most important thing is to be a detective. Watch for the signs. Are they getting fidgety? Do they seem tired? Is their mood starting to shift? The second you see that, that's your cue. It's time to get the check and head out before things get difficult. And, that really gets to the heart of all of this. It's not about a perfect outing. It's just not. A glass might spill. They might get confused about the menu. And it's okay. None of that is what you'll remember. What matters is that moment you shared, that positive connection. That is what success really looks like. So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a little something to think about. Looking ahead to the next time you might want to try this, what's just one small thing you could do to set yourself up for success? Maybe it's just scouting out one quiet restaurant this week, or maybe it's printing out a couple of those little awareness cards to have in your wallet. Whatever it is, just remember that one small prepared step can make a world of difference.